Thanks so much for joining us for this week's City Council recap. My name is Chris Lose. I am joined today by Carmen. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Along with Sean. Thank you for making it.
My pleasure.
If you would like to be a part of the team, we would love to have you. KJMTV@gmail.com is how you can reach out. All you've got to do is watch a meeting, city council meeting, watch it, write down some notes, your thoughts. We come together, we sit at the table, and we just kind of go through it. Yes, we're going to get things wrong. I promise we do our best every single time. But we also are going to shout out notes where you can scroll in on the link below. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll have the full meeting below, so you can just kind of scroll in and find out more.
But we always pick up the funny parts.
We do. We find the funny parts.
So when you watch us, you'll watch the funny parts.
Yeah, and we have a good time. Like
I
get to learn from, Carmen and Sean, and we talk and it's cool and you get to know neighbors, and I got to meet these awesome ladies, do this stuff. So anyway, kjmtv@gmail.com. Say, yes, I want to be a part of the fun crew, and we will get a seat for you here. We're covering the meeting from February 18th. It kicked off at 7:32. Invocation, Pledge of Allegiance with all board members in attendance. There was no reportable action taken from the closed session. About 4.5 minutes in, Congressman Gil Cisneros got up there and shared. He took oath in January, will be representing us in D.C.
And Dr. Kelly makes sure that she told him, we want money.
We want money. I like that.
Yeah.
She did shout that.
And the rest of the council members join in and say, we always want money.
Well, and it was cool too, because I wasn't the best at paying attention to government in school, so understanding what a congressman does and how he represents us, I've gotten to learn more through this show. But they're the ones that advocate for us, correct?
Yeah,
if I'm right.
That's right.
So yeah, he will represent us in D.C. He has worked at the Pentagon. He shouted that, and I like that he shouted.
He is an advocate for small business.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And the veterans, but definitely small business. He wants to work really closely with the Chamber of Commerce, which could be helpful.
For sure.
Because the Chamber of Commerce is kind of I hate to say that it might be a thing of the past.
Do we need another show for that one?
Well, I think that we have, our Chamber of Commerce has a new board in place that hopefully is going to resurrect it and make it as grand as it used to be
I'd love to
in
see
its
that.
glory days. But,
when was the glory days?
I'm not sure.
It was before I paid attention.
Probably in the 80s.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
But there's the internet. People get all that information super fast. They don't need the chamber.
Yeah.
Unless you're a destination city like San Diego, Santa Monica, and people are, a tourist destination.
Okay.
But I think they're gonna turn it around.
Yeah.
Anyway,
there's still value in it.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, especially because we have so many small businesses here in town.
That's right. He said with his help, maybe we'll be mid-sized businesses in no time.
Yes. His representatives introduced themselves about 8 minutes in. They were talking a little fast, but he did give his phone number out.
And Sean knows his name.
Jacob Wolcombe.
Because I could not. I watched it 5 times. Couldn't get his name.
Okay.
And Christine and Salama.
Yes.
I do love it. And I like that Mr. Spicer shouted money for the pool from up there as well. When they were talking about, hey, we need money. Money for the swimming pool has definitely been a thing in both the school board meetings and here at City Council, which we will get to shortly.
If we were swimming in the pool, it wouldn't be such a hot topic, right?
That was a good one. See, they say there's dad jokes. That was a good mom joke right there. That was good.
He just basically called your joke bad by calling it a mom joke.
It's a grandma joke.
Okay, see?
It's a grandma joke.
I didn't even see, Sean. 12 minutes in, you got
Spencer Abbott?
Sasha Renee Perez.
Well,
Spencer Abbott was representing Sasha.
Spencer Abbott representing Senator
Sasha
Renee Perez. Yes.
And Senator Sasha Renee Perez has an amazing amount of work. I couldn't write down all the stuff, but she was appointed chair of State Senate Education Committee, Budget, Education and Environmental Committee of the Arts, and it went
Financial
on and
literacy.
Immigration, foster youth, financial literacy. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff.
I guess Ms. Spencer Abbott is going to be our connection to the...
But she did not give her cell phone number.
No, she did not.
Do you blame her?
No, I do not. But yeah, 12 minutes in, you could see Spencer Abbott's delivery of information.
I think we should all call Jacob
find out.
Wolcombe, speed talk on his voicemail. No?
I don't.
Leave
I think
messages.
he might appreciate it. maybe.
We should gather a bunch of Monrovians and call like in
Robocalls.
rotation.
Look at see. Usually we're not. This is we're in high school all over again right now as we start this recap. But
So anyway,
again, be part of the team. KJMTV@gmail.com. We have a good time because a lot of these are very long meetings. So if we don't have a good time here, trying to just work through this together,
It's rough.
it can be tough.
if we don't do it, then you're gonna have to watch the whole meeting. So
And which is why you don't. And I never do.
wait, I'm sure we actually want to encourage you to come and do it. So it's okay to watch the whole meeting.
Yes.
We'll have fun making it a synopsis of it. Anyway.
Yes. 15 minutes in, we had Jasmine give her student report, talked about spring sports and the Mr. Monrovia competition, which is
March
coming up
6th at
Okay.
7 p.m.
for Mr. Monrovia.
March 6th at 7 p.m.
I see how you knew that one, Carmen.
Sponsored by Donna Baker and Gina Ammon.
Yes.
Love it. Awesome.
Was that the Mr. Monrovia or the just Gin Renaissance? It was Mr. Monrovia.
I thought it was Mr. Monrovia. I think Donna's always been a part of that.
Okay.
Mr.
So-
Monrovia. Consent calendar CC1 through CC15 was moved on unanimously. You can get all that information on the city website, so just go there. You could print out the
It's on the
consent
agenda.
calendar.
And on the agenda, it has like the highlights of what it is.
Yeah. So you will get all that information. From there, it jumped to public comment. 18 minutes in, we heard from Julie Bank for the Humanities Academy, which has an event coming up, Hum Out Loud, which will be this weekend.
On 220 at 6:30, so that's today.
That is today.
220, 6:30, room 210 on MHS. $5 minimum donation at the door. But if you can spare more, that'll be great.
And shout out to the Humanities Academy. I like those kids over there. They're cool.
And I'm glad it's today, not this weekend, because this weekend's taken.
This weekend is a lot, yeah.
She gave like a really cool poetry reading.
hmm
So
Yeah.
if
That
you
was
can
nice.
watch that, you just jump to the best.
18 minutes.
18 minutes.
Yeah.
17:20 is what I have.
Okay.
But somewhere around there, just jump in and hear it. It's really cool.
There it
and
is.
she's part of her group. She comes and does this review with us.
She
from
is.
time
She's
to
part of the team. So shout out to you, Julie. 23 minutes in, we heard from Karen DeClue sharing about the swimming pool. She learned how to swim or worked with Gretchen. Shout out to Gretchen. ROP was a lifeguard. Loved the pool, summer rec swim, the whole nine. Would love to see the city and schools collaborate on an aquatic center. I like that she came in with ideas about how they can rent it out and how we can generate funds so it could take care of itself. Yes, it will be a big lift going in. Roughly, they were looking at $10 million, which I gathered from the school board meeting. But
And
they
she-
can rent it out.
And she reminded us that there's also money on Measure K.
Correct. Measure K, Measure MM, they were talking about if they could pool funds from different places. Would be an awesome place to see collaboration. After that, there was also Rebecca who shared about the MHS pool 25-ish minutes in. They discussed the Measure K, Measure MM funds for an aquatic center. I couldn't get the woman's name.
I have Michelle Seratone, but
Okay.
I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it.
No, I appreciate it because I like shouting everyone out to get
Yeah.
up there and make public comment.
And I was impressed by Cindy Beaumont. She's
Yep,
a varsity captain.
water
and
polo and swim.
And she says she's swum in over 50 pools from San Diego to San Francisco. So she's well versed on what a good pool is, and it's not one of ours.
I want to jump ahead to Edward Belden's report, because did you notice that when he talked about public input, a lot of people, when they go to city council meetings, they don't know that when you do your public input, they're not going to respond to you. They're going to thank you and send you back to your
Correct.
seat, because they can only discuss what's on the agenda.
Yes.
And so it's kind of frustrating because you go there and you want to talk about things that are important to you, and you want them to say, oh, that's a great idea, or, oh, let's talk about that later. Maybe we can make something happen. But it's not on the agenda, and that's not a possibility.
But I think it's important, even though they cannot respond, I do think it's important for people to join the city
True.
council, to show up and to speak.
Or they
because-
can get it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Request that
Yeah.
a topic be
Yeah.
put on the
Right.
agenda.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that way it could be discussed.
And also, too, go make the public comment. You're not going to have a discussion, but it is on public record.
Yeah.
Which is also
Yeah, I don't want to deter
to
people from
state
making
it.
public comments. Just that
Yeah, but
a lot of
if we
people
can-
go expecting a little bit of a dialogue, and that's not what
Maybe-
happens.
Maybe we can ask to have it put in the agenda and just have everybody show up. But
That was
it'll be
the
a
oddest.
4-hour meeting.
When I went to give public comment the first time, that was where it was so awkward because it's like you say what you say and they're like, okay, thank you.
And you're like, but wait.
Did you hear
Okay.
me?
And you go and yeah, but
And it's almost like nothing ever comes from it again because it's never.
So we had 1, 2,
about
3,
it again.
4, 5, 6. We had 6 people talk about the pool.
yeah. And Sydney was also at the school board meeting and went and shared there as well. So shout out to everyone for getting active, especially the students.
Yeah, for sure.
It's important. Tell your friends.
Yeah. So one of the last person to speak about the pool was Lucas Suarez. He said he had just come from swimming in Duarte, and that his parents have to pay for him to be able to swim somewhere else.
Correct.
And then I was really impressed to meet, or not meet, but to see Ryan Birch and his partner. I didn't catch the guy's name, but they're doing a great job over at the bridge and
looks
painting it.
beautiful.
And I love how they said that they feel like they're adding history to history because Route 66 is a historic historic route, and the mural is looking pretty.
It
That
looks
looks
amazing.
incredible. And I was one of the things too that we talked about when we had the Eat and Fire Carathon broadcast. He came in to share, and it was just the amount of colors used. It was like over 100 and
Wow.
some colors. You know what I mean? Like, which I love because most city art isn't that
color,
vibrant.
yeah.
We're definitely lucky. And with that said, Ryan is also a part, Sean, myself, Art Lord, all the artists, so many community people have gotten together to this. Ryan at Lord Empanada. I'm not going to start naming names because there's so many people. But this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the depot, which has been closed for
Forever.
Ever? Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was here in '82, I think, and it
I've
was closed.
never seen it open.
I had never seen the inside of it.
But it's been rehab, which is great.
Yep. Well, you
because-
got to come and see it because it's not only rehab; it has beautiful art in it. And the funds are going to go to Avison and Odyssey, which are schools in Altadena that have been heavily
Burnt down.
impacted by the Eaton fire. So this weekend, Friday, 21 and up if you need a date night. Saturday, it's going to be family day. Sunday, jazz brunch. Pick your day, and we will see you at the depot. Just come check it out. It's cool to have beautiful art in this historic space. So it'll be cool. 35 minutes in, we had Erica Gallego sharing.
So she retired from the county and used to
Mm-hmm.
work for Hilda Solis. She's very passionate about finding homes for seniors.
Yeah.
He said that they have a list that takes years, but they have to make a minimum of $3,000 a month. And for a lot of seniors living on Social Security, that's not them.
It's not
Yeah.
possible.
So she's trying to advocate for the city to do something to create low-income housing for seniors.
Yes. From there, it jumped to CM1, which is city manager. Dylan started sharing about, it was like 38 minutes in, directives.
And Sean said
Update.
that it was so
It
so
was funny.
uplifting.
It was funny because he made mention of the slip of tongue when Becky called Sergio Jimenez Surgery Jimenez. But that's not the funny part.
At the State of the City.
At the State of
movie
the City,
theater.
yes. It was an accident.
Yeah.
The funny part, I don't know if you noticed, somebody that works for the city has a really good sense of humor because they switched Becky and Sergio's name tags. So Becky was Mr. Surgery Jimenez all night, and he was
I did
Becky
not see that.
Shevlin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And so I just thought it was kind of funny. Just add on. Maybe Dylan did it because he's the funny one here.
That
So.
is hilarious. And I'm mad I missed it. Thank you for shouting.
I rewound it a couple times. Like, am I seeing that right? Yeah.
AR1 elections to coincide with general elections, which I dig. I totally get it. I think it makes just great sense.
Yeah. It used
Right.
to be that way, and then it changed because it changed. I'm not going to say why.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's time. It's better to have a line like this because we'll get more turnout, more
Yeah.
voter turnout.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's less
the goal.
expensive
Yeah. That
to do
too.
it once.
He also shouted it was cool with the state of the city, seeing the board, the staff all work together, come together. 40 minutes in, Alice Atkins, our city clerk, reported on a survey, shared a bunch of slides, going dark in August, term limits on city commissions.
For boards and commissions.
Yeah, for boards and commissions. There was a discussion. They kind of talked about what 2 to 3 terms are typical.
She said the most they've had is 7 terms.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they said that the survey was kind of split on going dark, 68% in favor, but the ones not in favor were like the library that have to be closed during certain times, and they really need the time. And then I believe the majority was not in favor of term limits because of the knowledge that they provide.
You don't need term limits for those. And there are times, so what happens is people apply to be on one of these boards and commissions, and they get interviewed, and if somebody's term is up, everybody gets interviewed again, and they either stay or a new person gets selected based on merit and skill and whatever. Sometimes nobody applies.
Right.
So what are you going to do? Term somebody out? You can't, because you have to have a certain amount of people.
That's where I agree. I'm like, I don't know.
You can't have term limit. I mean,
well, and it's a volunteer position.
yeah.
I mean,
and the best person's going to get selected.
Yeah.
You're always interviewing.
Right.
It's not like you're guaranteed a spot. You're just guaranteed a
and-
spot if no one
and
runs.
If you bring the knowledge and you have gotten knowledge from being there, it makes sense for us to leverage as a city.
Yeah.
And again, when you run every time, if there's other people that are better,
You might
they
not make
might
it.
not make it.
Yeah,
So
well, that's fair too.
I think it's great. But that was discussed 40 minutes in. Check out the slides, see the better details for yourself on the link below. 49 minutes in, Councilmember Jimenez gave his report, talked about Willie's Vintage celebrating 10 years.
10 years.
It's a great little place. I
Really
don't know if
is
you guys
cute.
have
I
gone.
haven't. Now I have to go
it's
check
a
it
great little
out.
place. They have like this bench in front. I've been trying to avoid going because I don't want to come home with that bench, but it's so pretty. So if you could do me a favor, go get that bench so I'm not tempted to go get a bench.
Go to Willie's Vintage. Check it out. He also talked about State of the City, the job fair, and Gil Cisneros swearing in, how they all went out there, along with a school board member, too, to support. Dr. Kelly gave her report after that with about the EENR
I
committee.
just want to jump
Yeah.
back to Jimenez. He thanked the first responders for helping us with the wildfires.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
Just want to make sure that we talked about
For sure. Dr. Kelly talked about the Energy Environment Natural Resource Committee, zero emission appliances.
Water heaters and furnaces.
1111
Yes.
residential furnaces and 1121 for water heaters, and they wanted to be like not gas. And they had a very lively discussion.
Yeah.
on
It's a good thing. But not many people know that if you have a tankless electric water heater, that you're not going to have hot water if there's no power.
So,
But guess what? Every year we have wind. Sometimes there's fires.
Fires.
Sometimes there's just Edison cuts the power. Everybody needs a
So-
generator.
Yeah.
Get a generator, you don't have the problem.
So during the wildfires, we have electric water here at home, so we couldn't take a shower. Thankfully, we had taken a shower right before the.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully.
And it wasn't that long.
Everybody
It
should
was-
get a generator. It's better.
Yeah.
Or a gym membership. Just take showers over there.
That's true.
That was my go-to. But an hour, 2 minutes in, Councilmember Spicer had his report, shared about 500 plus people at the job fair. Super cool.
And it was
52
raining,
employers. Yeah, raining, people standing outside. Also shared about the trails now being open after the fires.
It's great news.
Did you
Yeah.
guys catch where he gave a little dink to Dylan on that? Mm-hmm. Did you catch it?
I didn't.
Yeah, for the
catch
bike
that.
riders.
Yeah.
Be careful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Why did Dylan fall off his bike?
Dylan likes to bike, and I don't know the whole inside joke, but
Okay.
but yeah, he put like
I
a
don't
little
know.
zing in there for Dylan.
Okay, Dylan.
He was like, cough, cough, Dylan.
Yeah, I want to talk to Dylan next time
We'll
I see him
find
about
out.
bike riding. But he also talked about the gold
Line.
line update, offering maybe this summer being a possibility. There's no official date, but with a strong possibility, felt like maybe August.
And they hosted the annual homelessness count yesterday, from 8 to midnight. Like Larry kept going like midnight. It's like, yes, Larry, they're homeless people. They need to count them at night. But they counted them from 8 p.m. to midnight. Belden says am I saying his name right? But Edward said that he usually goes, but he wasn't probably going to go yesterday. But that it was good for everybody to go. So if you went, drop us a little comment and let us know how it went.
Yep, cool. Hour 6 in, Councilmember Belden talked about the Clean Power Alliance Board, Edison plus CPA being on the bill, and how you could see those two different differentiated line items. A C unit rebate info he also shared, and then he gave the public comment idea about
And then he says solar grants are coming up, but he didn't give a date on when.
After that, our mayor had her report an hour and 12 minutes in. Thanked everyone for coming out to State of the City and for all the birthday wishes. It was her birthday that night, so they sang happy birthday, the whole nine. And then she shared a super sad story about Kiki's Law and a father who, is it?
Piki.
Piki.
It's Piqui.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
Piki. Piki's Law.
Kiki's Kim Kardashian.
Sorry. Yeah. I can't read my own handwriting sometimes, y'all. Like these notes, I try my best. This is where we, this is why.
That's why you have us.
This is why we need people here, right? Like, or you'd have been like, "What is this dude talking about?" But yeah, it was a super unfortunate situation. I don't even want to talk about it because it makes me upset. But an hour 12 in.
So the boy was killed by his father, and they advocated for a law under his name, Piki's Law. So now judges that are going to decide on domestic abuse cases, they have to get some special training. And so they, like Becky said, his life was not in vain.
Yeah,
it's a sad reason for his life, but it's something good came out of it.
Yeah, because it's something that unfortunately happens far too often. She also welcomed Shelley to the library board. An hour 20 in, it was AR1, which was the general municipal change to statewide election to coincide with the general election to get greater voter participation. And the city attorney also commented as well
that it's going to cost about $13,000 to notify us that they're changing the election.
Okay.
So, but they approve. So, we're gonna vote with the general election. So
it's good.
It should get more people out because we're gonna go out to vote anyway.
Yeah.
And so it's not a special trip.
Yeah, for sure. An hour 25 in, AR2. They talked about the fixture replacements, rate agreement with Edison, street lights. Alex Tachiki presented. So again, that's an hour 25 in. They talked about options. They talked about the brightness. And
they're so nice.
Oh man,
they were like,
difference.
I don't remember which of the council member was, but they were like, "What's that light in that?"
Oh
picture?
yeah, look like the UFO below, but no.
Yeah,
some of the streets are so dark. We need these.
Yeah, for sure.
And they look pretty nice and bright. And
they last longer. They're cheaper.
Yeah.
The city is supposed to be saving $75,590 per year.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe they could put that in the pool.
Yeah.
Look at you. So, that was moved on unanimously for the lights.
So, about half of the street lights belong to Edison, and about half of them belong to the city.
Okay.
And a lot of the street lights that are on Myrtle and that sort of areas belong to the city, but they're planning to do it at the same time. So the city needs to work on a budget and see how much the city is going to have to spend to do it. And I believe Edison will do them all at the same time, right? So we're not going to have people from the city go and change the lights, but we will have to pay for the light bulbs, I guess. And then they said that they designed a new light bulb based on what the city wants.
Yeah.
So now they're joking around that it's the Monrovia light bulb or something.
There it
and
is.
they're installing it in other cities, but it was up to us.
Trendsetters we are.
Yeah.
Copyright infringement. AR3, an hour 40 minutes in. Councilmember Spicer dismissed himself because he's part of the Historic Preservation Society as they discussed the Anderson House.
And this was the longest thing. It took about almost half an hour of conversation.
Yeah. 1886. One of the
Time well spent,
three oldest homes in Monrovia. Yeah, for sure. There were slides Dylan presented. And I like that they're going to preserve it and not move it to Rec Park. Because that'd be weird.
It would be weird.
And I like
it would
the
be
green
damaged.
space and the, let's keep
Was
it.
it Jimenez that gave the analogy that if we move it, then it's going to be like refinishing an old car because you're putting new parts in an old car, so it's not really an
Oh,
old car
yeah.
anymore.
Well, they're really
Right.
good they're really good at maintaining the historic,
Right, they will maintain
aspects
the
of it,
historic,
but it's just
it will maintain the historic basis of it, but it will have a new roof, it will have a new foundation, because right now it was built on site in that dirt. And then they said that there's plants in there. I didn't write down the name of the plant, but it's older than the house itself. So I think there's a lot of value to just keep it there.
So, yes, an hour 40. See the whole discussion for yourself.
I think more so to protect the area also from some developer that would
Oh,
come in
yeah.
and put something there
Which is a
mean,
reality for us.
with that parking lot right there too.
Yeah.
So Becky just said we need to find ways to get more people to come visit it. But I have tried to visit, and it only opens like once a month. Some occasions it does open, so it will be good to see it, but it's a little bit hard if you don't make good plans ahead.
Yeah. But if you want to see it, then
Yeah,
make the plan.
yeah.
Next meeting they said is coming up on March 4th, and they closed the meeting out in memory of Jake Ferntile, beloved member of the Monrovia schools.
Abandoned choir.
Yeah.
Very sad. He leaves a big hole in a lot of
Yeah.
people's lives.
Yeah, I didn't get to know him, but from covering these meetings, I just saw so much comment about
Yeah.
what a great guy he was and what an impact he made. So definitely R.I.P. Along with, was it Carmen Acosta and Lafayette
I want to say it was Hyatt.
Syed Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you need me to print this out for you next time?
Please.
So you can read
Please.
my writing?
So look, usually I try to write all this out, but real life happens, and do your best.
You were just doing it so that my notes could look better.
Exactly.
It was just thoughtful of you.
I'm just here, just in between Carmen and Sean, trying to hold things together. They do the hard work.
You're just trying to make us look better and give us a better light.
Yeah,
It worked.
It worked.
It works.
So thank you. Did any last shouts, comments, thoughts?
No,
Just head to the depot this weekend for that
Yes.
Painted Promises fundraiser.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
post pictures, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Come out, take some pictures, see some beautiful art, grab
Have
some
some
food.
brunch.
There's music.
Mark
there's-
Houston, the
Yeah,
Houston Trio is
Houston
going to be
Trio
playing
for
some
the
jazz
crowd.
on
They're
Sunday.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're very good.
They were playing during the COVID time.
Mm-hmm.
They used to come outside their front yard and play.
I love it.
Yeah,
He would have long
yeah.
concerts.
Fine.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was called Jazz on the Green.
I love that. Well, thank you for watching the recap. We hope that it was helpful and insightful. The full meeting is below. We'd love for you to join us. kgemtv@gmail.com is how you can reach out, and we will catch you next time. Thanks again.
Have a good day.
Thank you.